Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine the national issues of the Bahamas, and on our program today, we are going to venture into some international issues as well. Our guest on the program today is a Bahamian who is working in the United States of America in academia. He has been working at a number of colleges and universities, and currently he is a professor at Central Texas College. Professor Rudolph Tinker is our guest on the program today, and we are going to examine issues in the Bahamas and around the world. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
It's nice to have you here today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You've escaped the cold in the United States, I see.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I've lived in Alaska for 2 years, so what we're facing right now in the northeastern region, I've lived in weather that's 5 times as colder than that. I've lived in situations minus 67 below zero in Fairbanks, Alaska. So what they're getting is just a storm, but the coldness, I've been in more extreme conditions than that.
Well, tell me, why have you not settled down in the Bahamas? We have a college here, the College of the Bahamas, and you are using your talent in the United States.
I've reached out to COB on numerous occasions. COB has a hiring freeze in the Department of Social Science, which doesn't make any sense. Where social science, in my field as political science, should be a huge program at COB because we need to be teaching the young college students on how to lead this country for the next generation. And a program in social and political science or government do not exist.
Well, I thought that is what Felix Bessel does at COB.
Felix Bessel teaches 2 courses without any textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have a degree in political science, nor an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, nor a master's degree.
But those people who are...
They're all electives.
Yes, but people who are in law or in various other disciplines, they use his courses, right?
Those courses are electives. When in an academia, a required course is a course that is mandated that you have to take, and an elective you take because you choose to take it.
Yes, but why can't
Big
you
difference.
be such a professor as Felix Bessel?
I've spoke to Dr. Sumner and other individuals at the college, and they said they're on a freeze. I was hoping to come down and start teaching in January, but the college is on a freeze. You have 1 full-time professor at COB, which supposedly was supposed to be going on retirement, but is still there. And you have 2 adjuncts. I don't know why the college is continuing to in a way, not allow that area to grow. I mean, we have students graduating from COB, graduating from high school, that knows very little about the government of their own country because it's not taught anywhere. This is a problem. I think this is a huge problem. I think if we have a smarter generation of Bahamians that know their constitution inside out, that knows past history about Bahamian government, knows the style of Sir Lyndon Pillen, the style of Hubert Ingham, the style of the current Prime Minister, know landmark cases that the Supreme Court decided on, and know how these things affect their lives, then you will have an extreme, intelligent populace that will demand more from their government. But we don't have that case here because it's not being taught anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So where you are at Central Texas College, you are teaching the American...
Right now, the 2 courses I'm teaching, what I've been teaching with them for a while, is U.S. government and the government of Texas. But in prior institutions where I was the program chair for 900 students in Florida, Evers University, I was the program chair for criminal justice, homeland security, paralegal, and an American government program where I've taught international relations, comparative politics. I've taught courses in terrorism. I've taught courses in homeland security, international relations. I've taught, I could design an entire curriculum for COB based on the issues of the Bahamas and compare and contrast it with what's going on in the Western world and what's going on in the Asian world, because we have to produce global citizens now. The internet has made the world a small place.
Yeah.
100 years ago, it took about a month to get a note from here to England. Today, you can send a text in nanoseconds and someone in England has gotten it. So we have to promote our new generation because the world is small. The globe here has turned into a very small thing that you can have on your cell phone now with technology. So if we're not educating our students about their own government, educating them about the world, we got to realize the Bahamas is not just a 242 in its zone by itself. We're in the Caribbean region. We're next to the United States, and we in our country every day we have Europeans, we have Asians, we have Africans, we have Middle Easterners. So we have to start making global students out of that COB. And I always say there's no rush for University of the Bahamas if COB is inefficient.
And you are now calling COB an inefficient institution.
COB is inefficient in many ways. Number one, you're not properly staffed at the school. Number two, COB is one of the most expensive schools in the regions. Okay? Number three, it's very expensive for Bahamians to go to that school. Number four, they're not popping out degrees that are so vitally needed for the Bahamas. COB should be producing so many nurses, so many teachers, so many advanced police officers with degrees in forensics, with degrees in criminal justice. This is non-existent.
Why do you call it expensive? Because there are many Bahamians who really do believe that it is less expensive for them to attend COB than to attend, say, Central Texas College. Because if you attended Central Texas College, you have to pay room and board and all the rest of it.
I'll give you an example. For an American who lives in Texas that goes to Central Texas College, one course is $180. At COB, that's about 5 times the price.
5 times the price?
About 5. If you look at the tuition of COB, it's much higher for a citizen in this country to go to COB to compare to a Texan going to COB. Now, if that Texan, let's say I'm from Florida and I go to Central Texas College, I have to pay about 5 times the price because I'm not from Texas.
Yeah, we're talking about the cost of Bahamians attending COB.
Right, Bahamians.
That cannot be higher than it is for a Bahamian to attend Central Texas College.
I agree with you there, but,
right.
But that comparison I don't want to make, because you know why? The state of Texas subsidizes that education for taxpayers.
No,
we got to talk about...
We're talking Bahamians now.
We got to talk about the Bahamians living here. They should not be paying such a high rate to go to their own institution.
The College of the Bahamas is subsidized by the government of the Bahamas.
That's why the tuition should be lower.
It is as low as it can be right now, I am told,
I'm
given the cost of running the College of the Bahamas.
I'm showing you the comparison. A course and seat in Central Texas College for a Texan from the state of Texas is $180.
Well, we'd
Let's take that same course and put it at COB.
Well, we'd expect that.
We should not expect that.
No, we should expect that the Central Texas College is able to charge a lower rate to their citizens in Texas than Bahamians are able to charge at the College of the Bahamas.
Why would you expect that?
Because of the size of your state, because of a whole range of issues.
We have 3.
You have endowments, a whole range of issues in Texas.
Well,
this is a small developing country.
Well, what is? Don't tie the developing country to the COB. Let's just stick with COB.
It's a small
then
developing
COB
country.
should go out and get
our ability to afford it.
COB should go out there and get the endowments. It's the government duty to educate its people. It is the government duty to educate people. When you put education at an expense where the average Bahamian can't afford to go with it, I have a problem with that. It's too expensive. They're not producing the degrees they should be producing to fill all these sectors. And why should we be getting teachers from abroad, getting nurses from abroad? We should be pumping out more doctors and teachers and lawyers, et cetera, that the Bahamas could be sending these people in other parts of the Caribbean. We're importing them.
Per capita, I think the Bahamas is doing extremely well
33,000.
in terms of the number of professional Bahamians that we have in medicine, in law, and accounting, and all the rest of it. As a matter of fact, when lawyers are called to the bar in the Bahamas, 20 and 30 at a time, people are asking the question, well, where are all these people going to practice?
Exactly. Saturated with
I
lawyers.
am told by Dr. Robin Roberts that we have over 1,000 young physicians in the country.
But that's good.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes. And so there are a good number of Bahamians who are watching you tonight who disagree with you.
I don't think so.
And I'll tell you why they disagree with you. Because they have seen the increase in the number of professionals who have gone through the College of the Bahamas and have done extremely well. As a matter of fact, there are a whole lot of people who prefer their children to go to COB first for 2 years and then go to some other institution of higher learning.
I'm not saying that COB has a problem with educating. I'm saying COB is too expensive. So don't twist what I'm trying to say.
You said a whole lot of things.
I said COB is too expensive, and a lot of the degrees they're pushing out is not going into the sectors that the country needs. Look, for example, the police department. There's not a forensic. They need forensic programs over there and advanced.
We have a whole lot of forensic scientists in the police force. As a matter of fact, they will tell you that they don't have sufficient to do.
All this crime and evidence collecting.
Yes.
They don't have sufficient to do.
Yes.
With all these cases getting kicked out of the court system because of evidence problems. Come on.
What evidence problems? Now, if you say
improper collection,
if you say they need a better equipment on the Royal Bahamas Police Force to do their work, that's a different thing. But they do have forensic scientists who are working in the force, and there are many who cannot get on the force because there's not enough work for them to do.
So there's a shortage. I just read the other day that they were in need of this field in forensics.
No.
Unless
they're
I
probably
misread.
in need of more equipment.
More equipment.
So they can do DNA testing and all that sort of thing.
So so how we're testing blood samples?
No, you can test blood samples. You can do blood samples. We're talking about DNA testing.
DNA testing. How
Yes.
well, the blood, you get the DNA from the blood. How they doing that right now?
No. I'm saying to you that you can do. We have equipment in the Bahamas that you can do blood testing. But when you're talking about testing hair and clothes for DNA and all that sort of thing, a whole lot of that goes to the United States.
That goes to the United States.
Yes.
So what's the purpose of having forensic and laboratory specialists on the police force if you don't have the equipment here?
We've always had forensic scientists on the force for a long time.
But no equipment.
The deputy commissioner of police, who I'm told just resigned the other day,
I saw that.
He's
a forensic
scientist.
He said he's the smartest guy on the force.
And he has been a forensic scientist on the force for about 38 years.
Okay.
So this is nothing new.
But you said 38 years he's been on the force,
Yes.
and we don't have the equipment to test anything. Is what you're saying. I'm not
I
aware of
didn't
that.
say anything. I
Okay.
said they need more
Okay,
sophisticated
gotcha.
equipment. But they do
Gotcha.
have equipment.
Gotcha.
And I know that you've come from the United States where you have access to everything. That is why I say this is a small developing country. And there are certain financial restraints that we have in the Bahamas that you do not have in Texas or New York or Washington.
So you don't think the government should decrease tuition at COB?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking you.
No,
I'm
you
asking
say
you.
you say
I said it's too high. It's too high.
I'm saying to you, there are a whole lot of people who believe that tertiary education should be free.
I believe in that too.
Yes, but
Trinidad doesn't.
But it is your ability to afford it. And right now, the government has some fiscal difficulties, and they simply cannot afford it.
The government, if students are leaving public school with a B average, they should get a free ride at a 2-year institution. That is just my perspective as an educator. They should get a free ride because guess what? Who's going to benefit from this? The country will benefit from this.
Yes.
You can't disagree with
There
that.
are a whole lot of things that we there are a whole lot of things that we should have in the Bahamas that we do not.
Free education should be number one.
Free health care, free a lot of stuff.
Right.
Free plenty things we should have.
But free education.
The other day, they just opened a critical care unit
Right, I saw
at the
that.
hospital.
Right.
It took them a long time to get the equipment
Right.
for that critical care unit.
Right.
You know why?
Why?
You got the money.
They had the money.
You had to borrow the money.
Right.
You had to borrow the money from First Caribbean.
Borrow the money. Well, now we have that. So we should.
No, but you have a problem with that. We can talk about that. Let's take a break. He has a problem with that. We're going to take a break right here. And when we return, Professor Rudolph Tinker, our guest on the program today, we'll come right back.